Hey, welcome to Making New Possible. I'm Angela Damiani, CEO of Milwaukee. And I know I say this every episode that I have a very special guest, but oh my God, I have the coolest guest today. About to join me is Ike Wynter. He is an eco-sustainable wood artist, born and raised in Milwaukee. And his claim to fame is that the wood he finds like on the road, in dumpsters, old dressers, and he's never stained or painted it. As he finds it is how he turns it into art, which is like absolutely incredible. He has done ridiculous collaborations with real celebrities, real brands, has really honestly put Milwaukee on the map in a brand new way with his enormous social media following. We're going to get into all of that, but I think the thing that really struck me was that he is delusionally optimistic, and I hope you hear that, understand how incredibly special that is. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, Ike. I can't wait to get into it.
I appreciate you having me.
I am super excited to talk to you. I told you before we started recording that you're my first guest I don't know. So like I'm actually actively interviewing you. I don't have the end of the story in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my first stranger, I guess, on the podcast.
I'm here for it. I'll take that honor.
I want to learn everything I can about you. Do you want to start with just like real brief, like, I don't know, 15-second, like what's the Cliff Notes version of your life?
It's kind of all over the place, but in a good way. Now I get to make art for a living. So I'm a eco-sustainable wood artist. So that means that all day I just pick up wood on the side of the road. Beating down furniture and stuff that's going to the landfill, and I turn it into art. It kind of started as a hobby, and then in like 2021 it started catching wind on social media, and my first commission ever was for Mike Tyson, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I just all the art that is kind of showcased behind me and stuff on my social media is I'm not allowed to stain or paint or buy any wood for my art projects. So
You're not allowed. That's a rule you set. I like that as a parameter. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything is like it's a goal to can I make what is in my mind out of stuff that I've found from random scavenger hunts on the side of the road. It's cool. I get to document like, hey, I found this dresser on this corner of the street and now it turned into this. So yeah, that's, I was in music for a long time. I was an entrepreneur I had 94 employees at one point for a past business. So lots of different avenues in my life, but this is like what I'm doing now and I love it. So. Okay.
So, you went from not doing this to having a global following for this sort of scavenging you're doing. Mm-hmm. What was the moment that made you believe this path was even possible for you?
It's funny. The moment was I sold a piece of art at a wedding to the best man.
Okay.
For $750. And that was like, okay, a stranger I just met saw my art. Mm-hmm. He had a couple drinks in him, so that doesn't help the story. But
it doesn't hurt anyway.
Yeah, I showed him the art. Him and his wife said it was really cool. They said, how much do you want for that? And I said $750. And it was like the most I'd ever thought of charging for a piece of art. And
sure.
He said yes. And then I was like, oh. Yeah. And I'm not a money motivated person. So it's more so like, okay, is this viable for me to just pay my bills and be sustainable in the future? Mm-hmm. And that was like the light bulb moment. So yeah, that happened. And then literally the following weekend I was at a different wedding and the same thing happened again to the best man once again. So it was like crazy.
Oh, how peculiar. So at these weddings, did you have some of your art on display or you were just mixing it up with guests talking about what you're doing?
I wasn't even talking about it. It was like I was friends with, the wedding party and, the bride and the groom, and I was posting more of it on social media at the time. So they were chalking it up. And it just happened to be that both grooms like mentioned my name to the best man later in the night, and it was.
There you go. You have a market right there.
Yeah, I know. Just go to weddings every weekend and sell art. Yeah.
It's a different type of wedding crashing. I'm liking it much better.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm just actually trying to do the legal part of but selling my art. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so go into these constraints. These sound very strict. 100% reclaimed, never stained, painted wood. That you have to find. People don't donate them to you. What is this sort of how did you come up with these as rules? And then what has it taught you about creativity? Because obviously not every piece of wood you find,
Yeah.
perhaps helps you get to where you want to go with the piece you make.
I'm not super strict about like, I have had people donate wood or message me being like, "Hey, I'm cleaning this out of my basement." So the whole premise started with wood is a very hard thing to recycle or repurpose in our society.
Is it?
It can't be recycled. Like,
Huh.
you can take plastics, most of them can be recycled. You take metals, most of them can be recycled. With wood and wooden products in our society, unless it's good enough to be donated, like furniture to Goodwill or Habitat for Humanity, if it's damaged wood or just loose lumber or a fence, it can't be recycled by the traditional means within our society. There are companies that do it, but it's like you have to go out of your way to find it.
Sure, sure.
So that's how it started. It was just like, okay, there's this wood being thrown out every single day on the side of the road, and there's got to be a better use for this. So I started picking it up, and then I just come from a very like, environmentally conscious family. So I was like, okay, can I truly build art without going to the store at all? Can I not buy art materials? So that's where the whole like, don't stain it, don't paint it came into play. I was like, I don't want to just buy anything to make this art. So I literally go to the store like twice a year just to buy a handful of supplies.
Yeah.
So I had to dive into, I do use glue now, which was like an added thing years later. So I didn't use wood glue for the longest time. It was just nails and wood. So yeah, that I try to just be as minimalist as possible. And it just helps so much too with the storytelling. I love the opportunity to storytell by having these caveats within my art. It just adds so much to the nature of what I build.
Well, I have to imagine, a big reason you have an online following is people are curious about this, like that you can create something so beautiful out of what would normally be seen as garbage. That unto itself is a really amazing narrative.
Yeah, and people message me every single day saying like, "Oh, I saw this blue dress on the side of the road, and I thought of what would I do with this or whatever." And that's just like a crazy thing to hear from people all over the country. They were just like, "Whenever I see wood on the side of the road, I think of you now." And I'm like,
Well,
"Sure, all right."
It's a brand,
It's my brand. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. People like following the journey of it. I enjoy being part of the journey of it, and I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to relate it to like. There's a lot of discarded people in society and people that don't feel they have a place. Sure. And it's just like, you just have to find the right artist or right group of people that will give you a chance to be something new. Right. So there's a lot of like combining into like the bigger picture of like, yes, it's just taking wood from the side of the road and making art. But, there are those like glimmers and moments of it translates to different people, different ways. So I do appreciate kind of all of those side effects it has too.
Yeah, that was actually my next question for you. I feel like people, when they think of art, some people have like a very sort of austere or more formal understanding of what it's supposed to be. And I think oftentimes it prioritizes polish, right? Like a part of the reason that it's art is because it's been designed and perfected in some way. Is that always the way you've like sort of reframed imperfection as being valuable? I mean, you just sort of like touched on that idea of how you apply this to your sense of humanity too.
Yeah. I mean, yes, if you look at the word success, you think of polished. You think of a car, a house, a significant other, and money, right? But who's to say that a polished or successful person can't wear raggedy clothes and not have a lot of money, but is the happiest person on life, right? So with art, I don't have a disdain for museums or galleries or anything like that. I didn't grow up understanding any of it. I said, why is this thing being put on a pedestal and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Or millions of dollars, yeah.
Fully,
exactly.
Yeah. Is it just because of the way it was created or the way it was presented? So I never understood the art world. I still don't understand the art world. I didn't take art classes growing up I just kind of fell into this, and I do kind of just question things, and I think that's a very healthy thing, like question things in our society. And people think we do live in a box, and we don't. There's not as many constructs as you think. So in my head, I was just like, what if I could just take wood from the side of the road and sell it for just as much as prolific pieces of art, but it was literally all recycled materials, and it's from a kid who doesn't know anything about art. And again, it's not to gain the money of it. It's like, can I prove that concept to myself? and to the world. Like, can a random kid from a no-name town, as far as like, Wisconsin and Milwaukee is actually 50th in funding for the
Yes.
United States art.
Yes,
So
I'm very
we're
keenly
not
aware
very
of,
prolific
yeah.
art community.
No, not at all. It's sad, actually. Very, very
Yeah.
sad.
So I'm just trying to like, I don't know, not change the narrative, but just bring light to like, hey, there's kind of zero stipulations as to why this would make sense in my head or why I pursued it, and I just really enjoy it every day. And it's like a video game of like, okay, what could I do next with this? So
I like the
yeah,
playful approach you have to this. Like, I can sense that, it is about, in this way, it's not, a business for you. You've turned it into a venture. But it sounds to me more like you're, I don't know, still in an active experiment with yourself.
oh, fully, yeah. And with social media and the world and everything, like I don't. It's super playful. Like there aren't business reasons why I do X, Y, and Z. And a friend actually asked me like 2 nights ago. They were just like, "Well, what determines your next project, or how do you lay out your year?" And I was like, "I
Sure.
don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, dude." Like, I was like, I have inspiration and ideas that spark, and like sometimes it's built around like pop culture and the world. We just got out of like the Super Bowl and NFL era, so like that won't roll around again until fall time. So there are like kind of things happening in pop culture that I build things around, but not really. Like I find things
You don't do like
there.
a President's Day sale piece?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. I'll just make a giant mattress that's 50% off. Yeah, there's like, I don't know. I find things on the side of the road. They inspire my brain in a good, unique way, and I just throw on some music and start cutting some wood and make art. It's pretty simple. There's no rhyme or reason.
All right, well, let me take this a little deeper for you then. So you have amassed hundreds of thousands of followers on social media without the traditional art world validation, at least initially. What odds did you have to ignore to get to this point?
Uh, that's a very like interesting phrased question. I mean, do you know the odds of becoming a human being?
No, what do you know?
Yes.
Tell me.
There's a scientific number to you existing today. And it
Okay,
doesn't matter your race, gender, where you're born, but just the odds of being born as a human being
let me hear it.
is 400 trillion to 1. You would get struck by lightning 11 times before you have the chance to be a human being.
Yeah.
So when I think of like, I don't really go into the micro of like, he didn't take art classes, he doesn't have acceptance from the art world, he's from like that, like you could dive into those numbers, but like we woke up today.
Oh,
Those are the
yeah.
odds I focus on. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I've gone from like being in music, and when that passion and avenue died, I moved on to the next thing and I became an entrepreneur with my brother. And then when that wasn't seeing alignment in my life anymore, I switched to the next thing. And it's like, you just have to be grateful and aware that like the odds of you being here as a human is crazy. And what you do with your one life is important. And I'm not saying you have to be somebody or be something, but like if you can choose happiness and your passions, like I don't care if you sit in a park all day and write. If that's what makes you a good human and happy with your life, that's all I care about. So the odds of me being here is 400 trillion to 1, because that's the odds of me being a human. And what you decide to do with your life is up to you.
Yeah, you have
That's just,
agency in that. Yeah.
yeah, that's like all I care about is like the macro of like, the odds of being here. And I've had like a handful of near death experiences. So that adds on to like my qualm with like, or not qualm, but like my avenue of just chasing gratitude every day, really. So
Okay, so I'm hearing you describe yourself as like a delusional optimist in
yeah,
some ways.
that's where it comes from. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where where did that ember sort of like, I mean, I hear it as like a burning like fire and passion for life. And where did that start? Can you like pinpoint that for me? And then how do you protect it? Because I feel like the world, especially on social media, is such a yucky. It's so easy to become cynical. I feel like in this 2026 moment of modern history.
Is it okay? Is it easy to become overweight in our society if you choose to eat foods and that aren't healthy for you and not exercise? It's very easy to become overweight, right?
Yeah.
It's also a choice to not become overweight and unhealthy with your body. It's eating the right foods, consuming the right things, and moving your body every day and feeling some sunshine, right? So social media is not an exact parallel, but like there's been bad news throughout the entirety of human history, right? It is way more acceptable, and trust me, I get into the spirals of it just like any other human.
Oh yeah,
It's
that doom scroll. I can
fully,
actively feel like my IQ diminishing and my vibration. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like decelerating.
fully.
Yeah.
So I think it's just very, it's just an active choice of just like, you just have to choose the things you consume that you put into your body is literally part of the things you consume with your eyes and your ears too. And it's not easy. It's data and information is so much more accessible to our, modern age right now. And it's frustrating in a sense. And that is also what is very inspiring to me as a creator. I said, if people are going to be scrolling online and consuming things, I can't control how much that happens throughout the day, right?
Sure.
But if I put my best foot forward and try to create something positive or lighthearted,
Or
and,
beautiful in the world.
inspiring
Just
for them to,
creating a little bit of beauty, I think. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
inspire.
Yeah.
You come across those videos that like make you tear up or have faith in humanity again. I just want to be a part of that category, right? And it's just, yeah, I mean, I won't say it's having self-control because that's like a kind of a cop-out with it, but there's horrible, disastrous things and not great things happening in human history constantly. Unfortunately, it's very accessible and in our face a lot right now, and I'm very empathetic to that. It's not about blurring it out. It's having buckets of like, okay, I'm aware of social issues happening in our world right now. I do care about them, and I do know my place with them and the emotional bandwidth that I have for that. Also, what is true is like I have a career and an opportunity to bring light into the world and positive energy into the world through what I'm doing. A lot more humans can do that more than they realize. A lot of people think like, oh, I just work a mundane job and people won't find what I do interesting. And like, there's inspiring stories and interesting stories everywhere. That's why we do like see random acts of kindness on the internet and we tear up about it. But it's literally just like a person holding a door open for an elderly person. And then like like the simplest acts, they don't need to be filmed and put on social media for them to be important, but there is beauty all over the world. It's just, are you looking for it?
You're inspiring me. I feel like I've opted out of social media in the recent past because I don't know that I have the word you use, bandwidth. Like I don't know that I have the emotional bandwidth for it. And because I don't know that I have the control. I mean, I have a very strict nutritional diet for myself, but I don't have the same kind of diet.
It's not easy.
It's being, and so it's easier for me to just delete the apps than it is for me to like know that they're there. You know what I mean? And then to not click. It's too easy to click. It's harder for me to get in the car and go buy a tub of ice cream and then eat it. That's a ton of friction for me.
Yeah.
Compared to it being on my phone in my pocket.
And the beauty of like, I think the world that we grew up in is like, there was the 5 o'clock news and it ended at 6. And then you moved on to game shows and stuff, right? So you really only consumed news and world happenings for an hour a night with your parents, if that was your, that was my upbringing. And like now it's you wake up and you open up your phone to see a text message, and it's like you happen to open up Instagram, and the first thing is this world thing happened and this person died, and it's just like it's so much more accessible and in your face now. So it's not easy to have.
I think there are horrifying things happening in the world, and so I don't want to diminish that.
Yep.
But I do have this sense that like there were always like catastrophic like geological events that happened. There were always wars. There were always like egregious like individual tragedies. But there is something about the fact that we amplify it and can see it now and then have a collective sensation about it that feels like very unnatural and very unhuman. Like I think a lot about like what would it have been like to live in the Middle Ages? And of course, like, people were wearing those huge masks with frankincense and myrrh in them, thinking that would stop the Black Plague. So like I'm very happy that like, I don't know, I can, I have access to modern medicine and I didn't die in childbirth and all of those things.
Yeah.
But like, would my life have been happier even if it was shorter because I wouldn't have had access to the information? How much of this is self-inflicted because of our extreme access to information?
fully, and more people announcing it and being, you know, the voice of it. You know, growing up, there was one or two news commentators that voiced it, and then you only heard it through one-on-one conversations in your town. Now it's a creator can get on TikTok and make a video saying the exact same thing, who's not a journalist or a politician, and just amplify it to tens of millions of people within minutes. So it's like, I don't know if it's for us to figure out today how to question it and if it's natural or not. It exists right now.
But I love that you're choosing to see the light and to be a light bringer to it. I mean, good on you to like want to do your little part to make your corner of the world a more beautiful place.
Yeah, I see an avenue to do it. I know I'm making art. I know it's a way to bring the stories of what I'm doing to light. You know, and I just want to bring like value to humans and make them think a little bit outside of the box and whatnot. So I just kind of stick in my lane. I enjoy the storytelling component of it, and it's just it's like an inspiring challenge for me every day to make the art, but then also how do I bring this to the world in a positive fashion, and then also to like the companies that I align with or the things I do, I have to do a better job of it, but I really try to like work in a give back component or a wholesome component to like, if I'm doing a collaboration with a brand, I try to get them in on that alignment of,
I like that. Yeah,
we make this a wholesome campaign, not just
and try to push some sort of like layer of altruism to it. I
fully.
think that's really smart. Okay, so, you know, just being a little fangirl a little bit here, like you've worked with celebrities, you've worked with some bigger brands. You know, is there one moment that made you stop and think like, holy cow, is this happening? Was it the Mike Tyson moment? You know what I mean? Like what made that sort of meaningful for you?
I'd be doing an injustice if I chose one of them.
Yeah.
I think I wish I had a deeper time to reflect on these because they go by like in the blink of an eye. I mean, my NFL collab a year ago was absolutely insane. To be right there center stage and have my art displayed to tens of millions of people that night was just wild. As someone who I think of myself as like a very normal person from a very normal suburb of Milwaukee, like it's very surreal. I don't know how true celebrities and people that are put on a pedestal deal with, you know, 20,000 people singing words back at you, because I've only had just like a glimpse of that, and it's like just overwhelming in a good and, I don't know, overwhelming way, I guess. So I mean, the NFL was crazy. I got to meet the voice of SpongeBob, and he actually signed this piece of art.
That's cool.
And he like loved that art, and that video blew up like crazy. Yeah, I mean, I dive a lot into nostalgic, as you can kind of see. That's kind of my forte. So like, it's, I mean, just like meeting my childhood idols and people that it's just crazy. Like I was writing a script for a video last night, and I have bed sheets that I had as like 8 years old or 9 years old, and they're of the NFL logos. It's the NFL logos all over these bed sheets. And I remember idolizing Brett Favre and Amon Green.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
My, you know, so much of my childhood, and they were just like, those are the pinnacle people in my head, right? And then at the NFL draft this year, I got invited last minute to play at a celebrity football game, and Amon Green was our quarterback the entire game. Like thinking back in that moment, it was just like, I missed a couple catches that he threw to me, and I was like, you have like 60 minutes left, and Amon Green is throwing you dimes right now. Don't screw this up. So I locked in. I ended up winning MVP of that game, and Amon Green gave me the trophy for it.
That's so fun.
Like,
what a dream come true. I mean, it's like so surreal, actually, what you're describing.
It very much is. There's just so many of those moments. That was like all in one weekend, right? And then I got to, I mean, most recently, I got to go to the Notre Dame campus and install a piece of art there. And like, I grew up heavy on the movie Rudy and just loved that movie. And to walk the same sidewalks as like that story and my childhood with that, and now have a piece of art installed at like one of the most prestigious and prolific schools in American history is like so cool. So there's so much of it. I try not to like think about it too much because it just like overwhelms my head of like anxiety and everything else of just like, what have you done?
Keep staying grounded. That's, I think this is what's really like, you know, it's working for you. It's working for you.
I just like keeping it very just like, I don't know. I enjoy doing stuff like that. It's just, yeah, you just can't think about it too deep. You just have to like move on to the next exciting thing in the best way. So very blessed to pursue it all. Yeah.
Well, you grew up in a suburb of Milwaukee. Your art's made in Milwaukee. Why is it important for you to stay rooted here? And what do you see in your art contributing to Milwaukee's like global story? Like, is there any part of this that feels like you're recasting a narrative about this place?
Fully, yeah. That I mean, trying to think of like the best way to phrase it, but I do enjoy being here. I want to be here. Every part of what I do is putting Milwaukee on this pedestal with me.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have it written into every contract that I do that I exclusively have to wear merchandise from Milwaukee clothing people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one brand here called Unfinished Legacy.
They're amazing.
They're the best,
Yep.
and thankfully pretty much every company I've worked alongside, they've been cool with like me wearing it. So like the entire NFL campaign, I was wearing my Milwaukee hoodie. I had a 3-minute segment on CNN. I've been on the Today Show, and it's all wearing a Milwaukee hoodie. First of all, their brand messaging is just incredible. Just Unfinished Legacy.
Real, yeah.
Yeah, and then they tie in so much of Milwaukee with them, and their stuff is well received by athletes and rappers all over the world in that streetwear, industry. And Brema and we're good friends, and they moved home from LA and started up their store in Milwaukee here. And the night that the store opened, I moved home from Los Angeles as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for a nonprofit out there for a bit. And Brema and I sat down that night. He's the owner of Unfinished Legacy. And he said, hey, nobody thinks of Milwaukee as anything. And he's like, this is an untapped city as far as the art world. We have an opportunity to put Milwaukee on a map for no other reason than it just hasn't been done before. And it's, if you go into New York or LA or Chicago or Miami or all these other cities that have established roots within the art community, you have to earn that respect, and you have you have to represent it well moving forward. Here, there's no rules. It's the underdog.
It is unfinished. You get to like write it yourself. Yeah.
It's the underdog of an American city of where somebody comes from. And that's why there's stories of like Chapel Roan. She's a bi girl who came from the center of Missouri, right? Like you just don't, it's more impactful because it's from a town or an area that like the odds of that happening are just more and more slim. So yeah, I don't know, being from Milwaukee, I'm just on board to represent it well and promote it as an artistic flourishing place that like has these people coming from it. And I'm happy to be a part of that,
Oh, I'm so excited that you are though, because I feel like you're doing it in such a beautiful and humble and amazing way, but you're also elevating us. You know what I mean? I don't know, at one point I have to stop saying I'm not from here. I've lived here for 17 years, which is almost half my life.
Yeah.
But I don't always feel like I'm from here. And I often get the sense that people here just don't. I don't know.
That's the thing. Nobody would ever call you out on that and be like, oh, you're not from. Like, go to any other city, like a Boston or a Chicago.
Yeah.
There's like, oh, you're not from here if you didn't grow up on this specific thing and you haven't been here since birth or whatever. Like, Milwaukee, everyone's family, everyone's, wholesome here. And like, it's the definition of Midwest nice. And like, I don't think you have to be here for X amount of years to say you're from here, right? Like, it's a very inviting and welcoming community. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that through stuff that I'm doing and other amazing artists within this community and Unfinished Legacy and stuff, that people can come and visit here and put it on their roadmap to visit here at some point, when a few years ago, they probably never even knew where Milwaukee was in the country, right? So,
yeah,
to be a part of like that and to help build the city up a little bit, like if I could just be a part of that, that's huge.
I love that. So what advice would you give other creatives who are trying to build an audience? And I mean, what you're describing, like, I really believe you. This is who you are. Like, I think people say authenticity, but that word is so overplayed. But this is you. How do people build an audience and, I don't know, not fake it? You know what I mean? Like, be their real self.
Be your real self. I've recorded so many real moments in my life of when things happened. Like, I built this Crayola box. It took me a few hundred hours. And when I opened my phone and saw that Crayola DM'd me and responded to me about this box, I have another phone for filming, and I literally just hit record and just let that play because I was running around the studio screaming.
Yeah.
Losing my mind. And it didn't even flourish into anything. It was just like such a cool moment. of that recognition. And like the easiest way to show up on social media or just promoting your brand in general is like just know what you're innately passionate about. Like know what you care about at the end of the day and what you're good at messaging across to the world, because then it'll flow so much more authentically through your voice and people can hear that, right? And the easiest way to explain it is like document, don't create. You know,
Okay.
I document the journeys of me picking up a dresser on the side of the road, bring it to my shop, and what I turned it into. I don't just stand in front of the camera and show you something and show it going up in the walls of an art museum. Like that's actually what I disdain from. I just care more about like, here was all the raw moments I documented from digging through dumpsters or finding stuff on the side of the road, turning it into something, the late nights, building it into something, and now here's what it is. Because then people can relate to that, right? They can't relate.
And they want to
you.
see how things are made. I mean, there's sort of like an innate curiosity with people.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like think of like, I mean, the greatest movies or music videos or anything that like comes out in our world, but then you can watch the documentary of how it actually came to life. Like, you know, it's just crazy watching all the art and intention that went in behind all of it. So don't be afraid to post. That's rule number one. Everyone's first video sucks.
Okay.
Everyone has 100 videos that come out before anybody sees the light of day. I think the easiest translation in my head too, this is like a very easy correlation that I refer myself back to from time to time again, is like, say you're running out on the street, right? And you say, hey, I want to run a marathon by the end of the year, or I want to run a 5K at the end of the year. It doesn't even have to be a crazy lofty goal, right? I want to run a 5K by the end of the year. That's 3.1 miles. You throw on your running shoes, you go out for a jog, and you're just running at a 10, 11-minute pace, right? There's a guy or a girl who comes up behind you and is running past you, and they're sweating. They're running at 7-minute pace. You say, how many miles have you been running? They say 13. And you're like, oh, I'm just trying to run a 5K. I know I'm starting on day one. Like that guy's like running. He's been running for years, right? He's been training for this moment, and he still is training, right? That's like such a similar thing to social media. You can't look at somebody. I've been posting videos just for my art for 5 years, 8 years now, right? If you scroll all the way back in my TikTok, you'll find a bunch of videos that got 300 views and 5 likes, and nobody cared about it. And when they didn't care, I just tried something new. And I tried something new, and I repeated the process. And then as things started catching wind, I started, you know, taking those as data points and moving forward and adjusting. But it's been like 8 years of posting art content, right? So you can write off like all the reasons why that marathon runner is running faster than you and has been training for years and is still training, and you're okay with like still having your goal ahead of running a 5K at the end of the year. And when you run that 5K, it's going to feel so incredible. You can't finish your 5K race and be like, oh, but that guy ran a marathon this year. Like that's not realistic, right? So why do you do that on social media? You can't say my video only got 5,000 views and this person's got 200,000. Like your video got 5,000 views. Imagine 5,000 people standing in front of you watching what you just did.
Yeah.
Now, I know our attention spans are quick and people might not remember your video, but like you have to give yourself credit along the way and be down to be on the journey and document what you're doing. Not going viral, I will tell you, literally means nothing the day after. Like
what? Say more about that. I feel like people think of going viral as like, and then, you know, happily ever after.
Your life
end of
does
the
not
rainbow.
change. I wish I could go back to the day before I ever made a viral video. Trust me. I say that with my whole chest. I had a video get 5 million views 5 years ago on TikTok, and that was my first viral video, and like doesn't move the needle in ways that you think.
Really?
I mean, yes, it gets you more exposure. It can lead to things, but it's not like the end all be all. There is no finish line to art and creative journey.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I agree.
And trust me, if I could, it's like going back to somebody buying my piece of art for $750 at a wedding. That was my I made it moment. Not getting hit up by Crayola or the NFL or the NHL or the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, my moment was at a wedding from a stranger buying my art for $750. And I remember the first video that I ever had take off and do well, it got to 73,000 views. And I thought I became a millionaire that day.
Yeah.
I thought I literally had my life set off in front of me. Now, if I get 73,000 views, I say, what went wrong?
Yeah. You're like trying
Isn't
to
that
edit
crazy?
it. Yeah. Well, your perspective changes. Yeah.
Fully. And
you're the marathon runner then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, you can't look at, oh, well, you know, the Kardashians get this and Elon Musk has this and Jake Paul and Logan Paul get this amount of views or Ike from Milwaukee gets this amount of views. Like, you can't. You have to start at day one. And that's like, just take that with such a blessing and a grain of salt. I need that perspective to like lay into people, because it's just, I don't know. When I started, I was, again, everyone gets 200 and 300 views to start and 5 people caring about their art. But trust me, I was going live on TikTok for like 2-3 years straight, pretty much every night. I was sitting here listening to pop punk emo music for 2 years straight, building my art. And when I talk about documenting, there was like 50 people watching at all times of me building my art.
I actually think it's more creepy that only 50 people were watching than the 5,000 views.
Yeah.
Like those 50 people were like tuned in. Yeah.
I'm saying like 50 dedicated people would watch me for 3 hours straight building. And then when I would release a piece of art, you know, they saw all the brainwaves like working of like, as I was working on stuff, like, oh, what if I did this here? And I'll tell you, like when I was selling my art on a website, like to, you know, everyday people, now it's more like commissioned stuff for sports and pop culture stuff. But when I was selling my art to everyday people, the only reason I'm here today is because like 10 of those people on those TikTok lives saw the journey and cared about this art. And if I like total up how much money I've made, you know, from this journey, 95% of it is from a TikTok live audience that I just decided to go live one night and show me building art. And that's just like, I credit those like 10 people who really believed in me from the start and were willing to invest in my art. It's not going to come from your family and friends. They're actually going to disappoint you more than they're going to help you. They're going to say they care, but they don't really care, in a sense.
Or they don't understand it.
They don't understand it. They're going to say, oh, so-and-so is trying to be somebody. And trust me, I still hear that to this day. And I was, you know, that's after the NFL and everything now. Like, even when I was able to make it in some people's eyes or success, like the remarks still come from friends and family. But like, you literally need to put your content and your voice out there to a completely huge audience of just strangers and see what sticks and see what avenues happen, and follow that path and just don't care about what anyone thinks. I don't know. Yeah, I wish I need to put a photo up in here of like, there's like those photos from Earth of just space, like, you know, 100,000 miles away, and how tiny Earth is. I just gotta like put that up somewhere, because that's like when I have friends who are crashing out about very small problems or whatever, I just send them a photo of Google images of Earth. I'm just like, hey, we're on a floating rock, my guy. I care so much, but I also have perspective of how much it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So.
Well, this podcast is called Making New Possible, and I can't think of another guest that's like more perfectly embodied that. So I really appreciate you like taking time to talk through this with me. I'm curious what making new possible means to you right now. Like, is there a boundary or a norm you're excited to push next? I know you just told me you don't have a roadmap for your art this year. That's fine. But
yeah, I mean, making new possible is like, you get to wake up every single day. That's, I think, the opportunity to make new possible. Unfortunately, 99% of our society just gets stuck in a very routine, and we live in a very routine society. You wake up, you get your kids or dogs ready for whatever for the day, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, laundry, you know. We do have a routine lifestyle in the world. But like, you know those moments where you like don't have your phone for 2 hours and you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of nice.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, I think of it as living in real color.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
when am I like living my actual life?
Yeah. So that, you go on I don't want to say a spiritual trip for a weekend, but you go on like a trip that like opens up your eyes, and it's not induced by money or posting this for Instagram or whatever else. It's truly just like, oh, I feel so different and so inspired on this trip, and I touched grass, right? And I can't remember the last time I touched grass. So when I think of like new beginnings and new opportunities to restart every day, I'm not saying quit your job and go touch grass all day, but like just when the cashier asks you how you're doing, don't just be looking at your phone and say fine. Like just look at the cashier and say, I'm doing great. How are you? And watch for their rebuttal. Because like
actually make eye contact. Honestly,
those are the moments that make us human. That's just, if you do more of those throughout the day, you'll realize like how much beauty there is in the world, and it'll inspire you to be a better human and think more freely and creatively. And it will get you out of your bubble or your self-constructed circle of like, oh, the world is on fire and I'm not good at what I do, and I'm just gonna sit on the couch and watch Netflix, versus you want to like paint or build something or be creative. So like, and trust me, I'm only speaking this because I go through it as well. There's a reason at 4:00 every single day I go to the coffee shop down the road to get myself out of my studio. I don't have coworkers here, so I go and say hi to the baristas at 4:00 every day. They're probably expecting me. I'm running a little late today. And yeah, I just go say hi to them. And we just like, they all know my name. I know all their names. We just say, hey. I say, how's your day going? It's like our, little coworker catch up. And that $5 I spend there every day is like to creatively inspire me for the night. Because otherwise I would just be sitting here on my phone, like consumed by all the bad happenings in the world and, wanting to watch a TV show or whatever. And there's a time for leisure, and there's a time, there's also so much opportunity for like things that creatively inspire you every single day. And I know in Milwaukee, we're just about to have the sun come out, for the next 8 months.
I know you can feel it, the little like inklings of
fully.
it. Yeah.
So I know that does wonders. Like there's so many outside factors, but you also have to get up and put your running shoes on. Just like you're training for a 5K, you have to do things that are good for your creative spirit. Not to be an artist full time and post videos on social media, but because it's good for you and it makes you happy as a human.
Yeah, it makes you feel alive.
Fully.
My God, this was so much fun. Thank you so much, Ike, for coming to share your perspective and your worldview. And I'm really excited for you, what you've created, and for all the lives you touch. I do believe you're like sprinkling goodness on and creating all kinds of positive ripple effects from that. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep going and growing.
Appreciate that. And I'm gonna be here cutting wood in my studio like every other night. So it's about just find something you love and doing it every day if you can. So I'm grateful I get to do this. It's incredible.
Oh, you're the best. Awesome. Well,
Cool.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.